This is BWP Encore Radio with Steve Saxon and Dylan Roberts.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this. This is BWP Encore. My name, as always, 100% Welsh Beef, and sat to my left, like the cheeky girls of 2014 BWP, Steve Saxon. Steve, say hello.
Hello, Beef.
How are we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm really excited about this interview we got today. It's going to be rammed with more excitement than a Pyro CJ Banks main event, and more talk than a DJ King promo. I'd like to welcome my guest at this time. He is the Ledge from Alderley Hedge, which is currently the greatest prefix in North Wales at this very moment in time. He is Angel D'Souza. Angel, welcome.
Woo! Welcome. Yeah, I'm alright. And it's Alderley Hedge. You sounded like Pat Patterson saying Alderley Hedge.
Right, well listen, this is the thing. I remember first meeting you, and I met you at a GPW show in Hindley, Wigan.
Yeah.
And I remember rocking up at that show, and it's called the Monaco Ballroom. Well, it was called the Monaco Ballroom, it's now called the Rose Club. And I was asking around for directions, and I got to the petrol station, and I was like, do you know where the Monaco Ballroom is, please? And she's like, the Monaco? I was like, yeah, the Monaco Ballroom. It can't be a big place, Hindley, you must know where it is. No, I don't know where the Monaco is. She went around the back and asked someone in the back, and she's like, she come back out, oh, you mean the Monaco? And I was like, the Monaco. Oh, right.
Monaco Ballroom.
It's down the road there.
Yeah.
So I got to the chap on the front door, and I said, hi mate, is this the Monaco? He goes, hey old lad, how long have you lived round here for? You don't know this is called the Monaco. Come on in. He thought I was a local. Ridiculous. But yeah, I remember shaking your hand there, and it was good times ever since. How
Long
have you been?
time ago though.
That was like 7, 8 years ago.
Easily.
But yeah, nice to see you. Like you went off and did your own thing, and you've come to BWP the last couple of years, and it's nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to be back
in
the wrestling fold. Steve Saxon pays good wages.
Does he?
Sorry, Steve Saxon pays no wages.
That's why I like it.
I was going to say, have a word, will you?
Right, Angel, let's get straight on to the questions. As always, with the standard question in any interview, how you got into this business and why you got into the business. Do you want to tell us a little bit about where Angel D'Souza came from?
Yeah, well, the jokey quick answer is to pay Darren Poole some money to buy some pizza. The real tale is I got into it through Sean Phoenix, funnily enough. He was told about a local wrestling school, and he used the term school loosely, in Wigan, quite infamous, known as the MPWA, and started back off there in about 2002, and it was really, really weird. They brought me in as like a consultant to improve them, and considering I'd never wrestled a match, I'd never been involved in any wrestling promotion,
so this wasn't a storyline?
No storyline, this was legit business decision.
Have you got like acting backgrounds or drama backgrounds or anything like that? Any kind of
I mean, I've had an acting background, but they didn't know anything about that.
See in English.
Right. Pardon?
See in English.
Happy days. Monaco.
and I could bump, because I did have a judo background before that.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then when I walked in there, it was just like a community centre with a really ramshackle ring in there, and a few guys, and funnily enough, Damon Lee was there, Joey Hayes was there, TJ Kane, Heresy from Johnny Brannigan from GPW, they were all there. So, you know, and you saw people doing swantons and big flashy moves, so you thought, yeah, these guys know the shit, they know what they're doing.
You can do a swanton,
when it turns out that
I can do a swanton.
When it turns out that no one knew any shit whatsoever, it was really bad. Looking back on it 10 years ago, you thought it was the greatest place since sliced bread. Yeah. No one did any wrestling in that area. Well, it's even 12 years ago. No one did any wrestling. It was unheard of. Yeah. And then when you look back at it now, it was probably the most dangerous thing to do wrestling in, and the dangerous atmosphere. I mean, Darren Poole had been trained by, Orig Williams, and he had worked for Orig and done shows for him. And I just think at that time he didn't care really, and he'd lost it. And it's a shame, because Darren is a decent guy deep down, and he is a good worker.
And this is about 12 years ago.
About 12 years ago, yeah, 2002.
I used to work for Oregon, where it was it must have been about 12, 13 years ago when he stopped doing the tribute acts.
Yeah.
And the business for him started to, dry up a little bit. So I suppose this guy just went away, saw that the business was drying up and decided to start up his own firm.
Yeah. I mean, and then following that, I got a bit disillusioned with MPWA because Lee Butler came in, who started off GPW, and he basically told all the guys, "Look, I can offer you better training, better facilities, learn from better people. What are you going to do?" And basically, everybody, bar a few minority, jumped ship and went with Lee Butler, and he opened up this big, massive training school in the middle of Wigan, 20-foot ring, which he'd probably sucked Alex Shane off for. Whether he did or not, I don't know, but that's the rumour.
Yeah, it can't be confirmed. No?
It can't be confirmed, no, but then
all the promoters are available.
You know, the training was good actually under Lee. I can't say it was bad. He actually did show us some things, and I did feel as though I was learning a bit more. But then it turned out, I found out that he was giving like central contracts to certain people, and Damon Lee was one of them. Joey Hayes was one of them. TJ Kane was another one.
Central contracts?
Central contracts where they got all the training for free, or something like that if they turned up every day of the week. Now, I was working a full-time job at the time, 40 hours a week, kid on the way, and I said, why are these all getting central contracts to train and you're getting bookings and I'm getting nothing? And he said, well, you don't come here 7 days a week. I said, well, I fucking would if you let me fucking train for free. I come after work. So I just got disillusioned with it, and I kind of left wrestling for a bit. Did a couple of ring announcing shows for GPW after Butler had gone, when Damon was looking after the reins for an ill-fated bit, and then Johnny Brannigan did some shows for him as a ring announcer, which I did enjoy. Met a lot of the guys, had a good experience. But then I can only say I was actually taught to wrestle at the RWA by Andy Baker.
Yeah,
he's the one who showed me actually how to wrestle properly and train properly.
Yeah, because Damon's mentioned about that school in one of his podcasts a few months ago about how dangerous it was, and how I think he did like one training session, then he was on a show in a hardcore 4-way elimination kind of stupid spot fest match, and he had no experience. It was just like kind of like a big dangerous place to be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to come on here and slag anybody off and be nasty about it, but at the same time I don't want to tell any lies about it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't at that time. And I think if you ask Darren Poole himself, was it a good environment to train at that time, he would say no.
Yeah.
He would say no, because it just wasn't. It wasn't safe. There was no proper training, and it's a shame. But when you see some people who've like come from the MPWA, Danny Hope as well, he's one of them.
Yeah.
You know, they could have done better.
It was a stepping stone into the business, into other avenues. Like
I think so.
You went from there. You went to RWA. That's where Andy, taught you the actual. The craft, the trade.
And funnily enough, it was Sean Phoenix who got me there as well, because Sean Phoenix said this is opened in Runcorn. Needed a lift because he can't drive.
For those people,
can't drive.
Probably everybody listening to this who won't know who Sean Phoenix is.
Sorry, Sean Phoenix. Yeah, his real name Gareth Roughton. Problem.
No kayfabe on the show.
No
kayfabe. But everyone knows him as Gareth Roughton or Sean Phoenix. He has worked for BWP in the past. Probably. I would definitely say my best friend for a period of time.
No.
You're my best friend now.
Thanks, Asia.
I mean, you go apart from people for one thing and another, and there's personal issues which don't really want to go into because that's between me and him. But I still say we're friends.
Yeah.
Not as close as we once were, but back then we was pretty tight.
Yeah. That's a shame, isn't it? So, like, I mean, obviously you then went to RWA and Andy Baker. You know, you got any? So it was all good times at RWA, or?
When I first went there, I thought, and I'll be honest, it did feel as though I was going back to MPWA again.
Right.
I hadn't heard of Andy. All I'd known is that he'd been in America for a bit, never really seen any of his matches, never heard of him on the UK scene, inverted commas, and it felt a bit, like I said, like the MPWA at first.
Right, okay.
But then you saw that the setup was a bit more professional. He was actually teaching people to do things the right way.
Yeah.
And it just seemed a bit more of a better atmosphere. Everyone seemed to listen to him because he knew he does know what he's doing. Yeah. And my first match there was actually working against him.
Right.
And then when he selected me to work against him, I thought, does he want to work me because he thinks I'm shit? Yeah. And I really need to be in there with him to really learn the ropes, or does he want to work with me because he's impressed what he's seen in training? I'll never know, but I did enjoy my first match there, and it was my first, I could definitely say, a proper match where I knew how to construct it from start to finish. I knew what, and I was playing babyface at the time, what a face should do, what he shouldn't do, how to work, the right way to work in the crowd. Yeah, he definitely taught me. He is everything what I know to do in the ring.
Happy days. It's not always like, even though like some places are shocking, sometimes you learn valuable lessons from those terrible places, because you know how not to do things then, don't you? When you look back at places like, when you first started, or when all the bad experiences you might have had, like the experiences I've had, like the bad ones, it's always like they're the ones I remember most, and remember, never do that again, or never go there again, or you know what I mean. So
from a training perspective, I mean, I don't know if you guys are going to talk about what it was like there as a worker, but but training there, he's a good trainer. The school is a decent school. If there's anyone who's in and around that area, then go there. It's a decent little training setup, and they will train you the right way. But whether you think that's the way to go further down the line, then that's up to you.
What do you think? You say as a trainer, Andy Baker's he's good and he did a good job there. What about as a worker? What do you think of Andy Baker? Obviously, Andy Baker's gone away for a couple of years, and right now he's back at RWA, and he's back there booking and training full time again now. There's a reason why Andy Baker came back from America in the first place. So, are you saying that he's a better trainer than he is a worker?
I think so. I think you've got to say that, because if you look at the guys who started there and gone on to better things, Pitbull, Dean McManus, Gibson. That's three people there who've gone on and done better things for themselves. I personally think that Baker's given them the tools to start off with, and those three guys have evolved and got bigger than the RWA. And I think when that happens, certain people don't like that, and then they've got to move on to better themselves. And I think
what happened with you in the end? When you left RWA, why did you leave RWA? When did you leave?
I left RWA in July, 2010, just after a match with the babyface Pitbull. We'd been putting a programme for nearly 6 months, but we never touched each other in a match until that one blow-off match, partially because I had commitments where I couldn't attend to training, so it wouldn't let me go on shows, and I presume he'd promised Pitbull this match, and we just had this big blow-off. And I think after that, I just became disillusioned with wrestling in general. I didn't like the way the RWA was going. If you had an idea and it didn't agree with Andy or the powers that be, it just got shot down. I felt if you weren't working in the main event bracket, or you weren't in and around what Andy Baker was working, you was kind of shoved to the side and was like, you're booked to do this, you're booked to do that. And the amount of people who left over the years who were good and could have been really good. I mean, two names off the top of my head is like Jack Lightning and the Joker Rico, who were two absolutely fabulous trainees, and they could have gone really far, and they just got pushed to the side because they become disillusioned with what was happening there, personally and professionally, I think.
Oh, right, okay. That's pretty bad.
I mean, okay, so you spoke about the training side there, the politics, the reason why you joined RWA and the reason why you eventually left. But what about the time you were actually there? Once you passed that first match with Andy Baker, and you got the actual taste of being in a proper wrestling match for the first time.
As a worker.
As a worker, what was Angel D'Souza like as a worker? How did Angel progress?
Greg Hammond once said that I was like the English Dusty Rhodes, and I never understood what he meant until maybe a couple of years ago. If you're looking for swantons, indie moves, you would never have got it from me. What you would have got was a good story in the match, getting the crowd and interacting with the crowd. I reckon I had a good 4 years there, really did. I was the company's champion for a year. Did it both face and heel, turned with the belt, which I think was my idea. Turned on DJ King, actually, smashed his face in with a chair.
Good lad.
And then smashed Andy Baker's head in with a chair afterwards. So, but yeah, I love wrestling. Once you do it, you do understand and get a better appreciation of what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's a buzz, getting booed, getting cheered, and I reckon I had a good run. I reckon I had decent matches with everyone there. Probably not 5-star matches, but I definitely held my own. Worked a 4-way match with Zach Gibson, Rico, and demo, and you've seen the size of those three. They run rings around me, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Beat them, done a rumble for them, won that. I'd like to think I was one of their biggest stars at the time.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone could disagree with it and say that I wasn't. And I reckon I got my push because I connected well with the crowd.
Yeah.
So I think in the early days, it must have been like 2009, 2010 was one of the first times I met you when I first started going to watch RWA, and I think you just made a comeback on the first show that I went. So you come back as the commissioner or GM or something like that.
No, what had happened was I took some time out after I lost a retirement match to Andy Baker. Where he was.
Whose idea was that?
Mine. I pitched it. I wanted to get out, and I wanted to do this match. And it was the logical way. I wanted writing out, and this seemed logical. I was feuding with him at the time. So it was like the company against the career sort of thing. So I lost, took some time out, and then I came back, but we had to find a way of getting me reinstated. So I went into a small programme with Dean McManus, and eventually got my job back through Craig Winters. And then after that I only worked maybe 3 matches after that over a space of 8 months, but that was because of this self-imposed ban where it didn't let me work because I didn't turn up to training. But them were the rules. So
he brought you back into the company as a character, but once later at matches?
No, once I got reinstated,
okay.
I'd come back, worked a couple of matches, and then because I wasn't coming to training because of work commitments and other commitments, he wasn't putting me on shows because I weren't turning up to training. Wasn't fair on the other trainees who were turning up. They should have got on shows. And in hindsight, I do agree with it, but at the same time, I think I was still good enough to go on a show and work with someone, and maybe, even if I was just losing to him, give him a rub, give him the experience. I've worked with Angel. I would have put anybody over on the... it wouldn't have mattered. It would have been... I would have even put Phil Green wearing my old gear, to if it meant putting someone over.
Who's Phil Green?
Oh, Angel Updates, who was on Twitter, took the piss out of me big time, and then he only did it to impress Andy Baker actually. So I did have a bit of heat with him at the time. It's all water under the bridge, and it's just one of those things. A childish prank what got a bit too far.
Out of hand,
yeah. Well, it was a bit disrespectful, I think, personally.
Yeah.
I'd never done anything bad to this lad.
Right, okay.
Nothing bad at all.
Yeah.
And whether it's true or not, the rumours what I heard of people was that he just did it to impress Andy and a few of the boys there.
It's a shame. It happens a lot.
I thought it was a laugh.
It happens a lot of promotions where people get jealous, where it's like, well, why is he on a show and I'm not? It's like, well, there's a card for a reason. You're at the top of a card for a reason, or you're at the bottom of a card for a reason. Not because you're the worst wrestler at the bottom of the card, but because you're there to do that job. You know what I mean? So people get jealous and whatnot. And it's only when they look back on hindsight, maybe they think, I might have been out of order. Maybe.
I mean, I'm not bothered. If you want to take the piss out of me, take the piss out of me to my face. I'm quite a laid back guy. You know what I mean? I can take a joke. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, we do.
I'm not going to spit my dummy out. I'm pretty sure there's going to be more jokes in this show, and the piss ripped out to me. Just do it to my face. Don't need to do it over the internet. Just impress someone.
No.
It was a bit sad, but he was still young at the time. He was probably 19, 20.
Are you talking terms with him now, or are you not seeing him?
No, I'm still talking terms with him now.
What
about RWA? What's your relationship with RWA these days?
I don't have one.
You don't go to watch them?
No
contact or anything. So no interest in going. Would you consider going back to RWA if Andy knocked on your door and said, we miss Angel D'Souza, we need you back? You can't win matches because you don't train, but we want you back. Would you go back? I'd
like to sit down to him. I'd like to sit down with him and talk it out face to face, because for a period of time we got on. I just don't like things I hear about him and the way that the school's going and other things like that. And it's sad, really. It is sad, and from you hear from some people that it's become like a bit of a cult there. And it is sad because I've still got a couple of friends who was still really, really have a lot of time there for, like Sean Phoenix, one of them. AC Cage is another one. I've got a lot of time for. It's just sad. I suppose these things happen in wrestling, but I would like the opportunity to sit down with him face to face and just discuss what it is. I don't like falling out with people, but there must be a reason why. I mean, it was okay for people to take the piss out of me when he was knowing about it, but when all these RWA memes come out, I was still the Facebook admin for this Runcorn Wrestling Academy thing, which I'd set up a couple of years ago, and all these memes were coming up taking the piss out of all these guys, and I deleted the Facebook account. I didn't even realise I was still the admin, and I told Phil Green, the guy who took the piss out of me, I said, tell Andy I've removed the page now, no one will be able to post it, no one can see these memes, so people can't take the piss out of the school and people can't take the piss out of his wrestlers. And then all I got was a Facebook message back from Phil to me saying, Andy says thanks. Why can't you just say thanks to myself? It's a bit sad.
I suppose in the same sense that you could have emailed Andy direct rather than Phil.
I could have done, but I mean, I won't lie. I've probably been on people taking the piss out of him. I've taken the piss out of a lot of people. Bit childish maybe, and I'll hold my hands up and admit it. And I was a cock sometimes. But I'm 33 years old now. I really don't have time for this shit anymore. And I think that's one of the reasons why I got out of wrestling. The politics, the backbiting, the backstabbing. And if Phil Green's listening to this, if you want to sell me my gear back for 20 quid, you can do. I sold it to him for 40, so that's 100% markup.
Okay, well, let's move on from RWA then. So you left RWA. You had a bit of time where you went back and did a bit of a stint there, and then you left again for whatever reason. What happened after that? Where did you go then? Did you completely step away from the business until BWP, or were there any promotions in between?
No, not that I can think of, no. It was completely away from wrestling altogether. The majority of my work was between 2006 2010, where I'd worked for a couple of other promotions, but after 2010 coming up to BWP, I've not worked a match, I've not done anything as a on-roll capacity or anything like that. I just stepped away for a bit, went to a few shows, went to one of yours at the Nova Centre, couple of GPW shows because they were local where I lived in Wigan, but apart from that, no. So just kept in contact with people, but nothing.
So what happened with Britannia then? Did you get the bug back, or did you get a phone call, or did you approach them, or did they get to you? Or
well, I've always been friends with Mike. Sorry, DJ King, head of talent relations. For, since we started in the RWA, and the first time I met him, I thought it was a bellend.
Yeah,
I did. He knows that.
Yeah, I do.
Nah, he's probably my best friend.
Is he?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh, never mind.
I thought you were best friends. Fucking hell, you.
At the moment, he is probably my best friend. He's the only one, really, one true friend who I've probably made in wrestling and stayed in contact with and got to know on a personal capacity. And my family visit his family, and he knows some of my family and so on. And he hit me up about Encore, and he said, would you be interested in doing it? And I was like, do I want to? Do I want to be going over to Chester and prestatting and taking more time out of work and stuff like that? But then I thought, why not? Do you know what I mean? I was single at the time, didn't have anything else to do. I thought I might as well give something back, you know, because I think even though I wasn't the best worker or talker, I'm still a decent talker, and I do know what I'm talking about, I think. And I know a lot of the guys.
You've been around long enough to.
Yeah, long enough. I mean, I know plenty of the wrestlers. Yeah. The ones who's been around like same length of time. Ligero. Yeah. Damon Lee. Lords.
How long did that take?
23 minutes. Yeah, but we've only mentioned his name, haven't we? But, but when the opportunity come for Encore, I just said, let's give it a go and let's see where it goes. And then we're up to now, BWP Commissioner.
So, like, I mean, you're the commissioner at the minute, so, you know, you're sort of the boss, you know, backstage and front of stage. But, like, as opposed to donning the black leotard with yellow spots on, like a bit like Dusty Rhodes, would you ever think about sticking that kind of gear back on and getting between the ropes? Or
well, my gear was yellow and blue PVC. Well,
you said you were the
plevers.
Dusty Rhodes.
No,
Dusty Rhodes never wore plevers.
They said it was the British Dusty Rhodes.
I
had yellow and blue with
was wearing plevers. He was wearing plevers
with stars.
Only Sweet
yeah, well, plevers were in them, weren't they? Do you know what I mean? Even El Ligero had plevers then. But
Mike wears plevers.
Yeah, that was my gear. It's totally different. It's totally different being a worker than being an on-screen personality, but at the same time you're still going to connect with the crowd and get them to believe in what you're believing. There's no point me going out there and saying, for example, CJ Bankshire against Dylan Roberts in this kind of match. If I don't believe it, and they're not going to believe it either. And I'm sort of like the foreplay to the intercourse, if you know what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
I get the crowd
so I'm the stud.
A bit lubed up before bang. There you go. Okay. We're in.
Yeah, I'm the stud, Steve.
Okay, so
big spoon.
Big spoon, yeah.
All day long.
So you started off as the Encore presenter with DJ King, Mike Holland. You did a bit of commentating for us, not commentating, sorry, you did a bit of ring announcing for us as well.
Yeah.
And then nearly 12 months ago, you took the role as commissioner when Sean Aston left BWP. So did
he ever get to BWP, Sean Aston?
A couple of times, yeah.
Right, okay.
The Pennifer show, where
Pennifer, obviously.
Nobody else locally could make the show because we were snowed in, but he managed to get here that one time. Yeah, we never saw him again. So you took over the reins as commissioner.
Yeah.
No longer did we have a general manager in BWP. So the last nearly 12 months, how's it been for you? How have you actually found, like, as Beef said then, going from being a wrestler to taking a big gap out of the business, then coming back and having the role as commissioner, the top dog in BWP? How's it been for you?
It's a buzz, really. I love it. And I like the fact that I can still come backstage and still be one of the boys. And everyone's still dead sound, dead nice. Every time I keep mentioning his name, but Damon Lee, because I think it's because I've known him the longest and been with him since when I started. Still see him. We don't shake hands. We always have a hug, a big man hug. Yeah. And it's just nice, just being one of the boys and being accepted again. Do you know what I mean? And even by the seeing these young lads like you see like the YOLO squad and Pyro and some of the other rookies you get for make it on these shows, and you can see the buzzing. And it's like I was like that, 5-6 years ago, and I'm thinking when I go up to them and I speak to them, I say, just go out and have fun. You know what I mean? Just be safe and have fun. And then when they come back, I'll always. I don't like critiquing matches when people say, "How did I do?" Because I think you can affect someone's confidence. So I try and say something nice about the match, try and take out the positives. And then say, next time, try and work on this, and never say anything was shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because there's always something what you've done well, even if you've run the ropes well, even if you've worked the crowd well. Yeah. There's something what you're good at, or there's something what you've done well. Mm-hmm. So there's no point being a twat about it and saying, you were shit. You fucking sandbagged him.
There's nice
ways like Mike Holland. You know what I mean?
There's nice ways to say someone. There's nice ways to say someone was shit.
Of course there is.
If I'm critiquing matches, then I will. I'll openly say that was shit. Don't do that again. Or if you're going to do that, then you got to do this instead. You know what I mean? Because
I think it's down to the sort of work that you are and the way that you take advice as well. If you'd rather somebody be open and honest to you and say to you, "No, Steve, that was shit." You super kicks of shit or whatever.
I won't do it again. Yeah.
Or you won't do it again, or you improve it next time. Or some people like Angel, you may not take critique that well, so you like to be told the positives rather than the negatives and work the rest out for yourself.
I think the best analogy I was ever given about something bad in one of my matches. I just finished working Bubblegum in Preston for 21CW, and fair play to Pip, it was a really good match. He said, "We'll just do whatever you want, just do what you're comfortable with." And I was like, a shitting dog. This is the first time I've worked anyone that calibre. I mean, in 2007 he was great then. He's probably even better now. And just ended with a screwy DQ finish where I whack him with a chair, and it wasn't the greatest chair shot in the world. And I got backstage and El Ligero said to me, "That was the chair shot what couldn't even crush a grape." So so he was saying it was shit, but that was just
a nice way of saying it.
A nice jokey way of putting a spin on it. But
I'll try and think of that in the future next time. Some of the matches.
Lost a few rookies because of you.
Well, just trying to make the product better, aren't I?
Right, just going to go off topic for a minute. We're going to go through a couple of the tweets and Facebook messages we've had for you. We've had quite a few this time around. The first one from Will Roberts. Is it true that you once kissed the sister of the babyface Pitbull?
Please tell me it's true, and please tell me you got pictures.
Eurovision entrance.
She is fine. Well, technically she kissed me because the picture shows it wasn't on the lips or
pictures.
There was a picture of it on the internet. No, it's on Andy Baker's Facebook and he's blocked me, so I don't have access to it anymore because I was tagged in the picture. Add him, lad. He's belting.
Just that picture.
No, it was. We was in Magaluf.
I'm joking.
We was in.
I've got a copy of the picture.
Yeah, but if you have, it'd be great. Just for research purposes, obviously.
Bad duty.
You could take that to the Daily Star.
I wouldn't ever do that.
Shit, yeah, you could sell your story.
We was in Magaluf.
Hello Magazine.
We was in Magaluf at the time.
OK Magazine, Angel Kisses Eurovision.
It was just an idea. What we had when we got, because I knew I was working Pitbull afterwards when we got back, and I thought, let's just do this and get a bit more heat. And she just, all this is a picture of her kissing me on the cheek, and Molly's a sound person. She got us into BCM, 12 of us for free, and that's like €40 plus all your drinks included. It was just belting. That's when it was good. That's when we was really having a good time. 12 of the boys in Magaluf. Mental. Absolutely mental. Yeah.
Fantastic.
But So yes, the answer, it's true, but she kissed me, and it's only on the cheek.
Well, there you go. You heard it here first. Well, probably not, because no one who's probably told everybody about it. But
yeah, but there's actual video evidence. There's actually photographic evidence of this.
Only on Andy Baker's time.
I will find it later. Don't you worry
nobody's
about
got access to.
I'll find it.
Unless you feel green. That's Phil. You can send it with your singlet.
So it's copy and paste.
David,
David, definitely David.
David, go find that picture. He's a helper. He's in the corner.
Right, we've got a question from, funny enough, from Max Davis. BWP referee Max Davis, former Encore presenter.
David's half-brother.
Half-brother, yeah.
Yep. David Davis.
David Davis, that's right, yeah. What, in your opinion, are the major differences between BWP and other British wrestling promotions?
When you go to a BWP show, especially at the Frith, you feel as though they know absolutely everything what's going on. Not from a booking perspective or anything like that, but they know what's going on. They take the time, and
you're on about the crowd, or you're on about the...
Yeah, the interaction between the crowd and the wrestlers. It's more than just the show. It's the after show. It's before the show. It's the kids having the pictures with the wrestlers and stuff like that. It just feels to me a bit more real and a bit more homely and family orientated to some other shows.
Yeah. That's fair to say.
And I think that the product is consistent with BWP. You go to a BWP show, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get some top line guys who been around for a few years. They know what they're doing. They're going to work 4 to 5 star matches, mainly 5-star matches. But you've got a little influx of talent which have come from the BWP Academy, or some guys who just need a break somewhere else other than their own training school where they've been, and they get slowly incorporated by getting them on the rookie shows and then just putting them in little spots, like again little squash matches or whatever they may be on the main shows, and it just gets them ready for when they get their own shot in the limelight. Pyro's the best example of it.
Yeah.
He's well over that guy.
Yeah,
really good.
So, I mean, Pyro
really good.
Just over 12 months ago at Champions Bowl last year. Kate coming as an absolute nobody in the business. Obviously, he's had previous experience with training schools, never really got that push for whatever reason. But he's coming this past 12 months, and he's just taken the BWP by storm, as you say. The punters have seen him come in as that new fresh-faced rookie, and now he's main events in some of the main event shows, or the big super shows or whatever. So good example.
Yeah.
One last one before we move on. Geraint Griffiths, Big G. Where does the name Angel D'Souza come from?
Right, was on a night out with Sean Phoenix. Was in Wigan one time and was thinking of a name what I could use when I made my wonderful debut in the MPWA. And I had a friend who I'd known a few years ago at judo, and his name was Alex D'Souza. And I thought, well, I like the D'Souza bit, and by this time I'd had about, more than my body's intake of alcohol. I was like, what goes well with D'Souza? And funnily, we just came up with Angel, and it stuck.
Yeah.
And every time I've tried, thinking of coming back, when I've made returns and stuff like that, I thought, do I need a new name? When I first joined the IWA, I thought, shall I try and change to a new name? But I've always liked it, so I've just stuck with it.
Yeah.
So
fair play.
I just think it's different.
Yeah.
It's just different, bit flamboyant.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's hard to find something different nowadays in wrestling. So if you find something different in wrestling, then you want to keep hold of it.
I think the problem is when I picked that name, we're talking 12 years ago, when everyone was picking a name where it's like
Jack Lightning,
Rage, Lightning, Storm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All these different
Zack Diamond.
All these, yeah. Well, do you know what I mean? All these different nouns which were coming after a first name, a generic first name.
Yeah.
And I think what Zach's done really, really good is getting away from the diamond, still using it for a little bit, being Zach Diamond Gibson, and now he's just Zach Gibson.
Yeah.
And it's a transitional thing, and I think you can see that with the Juice. He was Juice.
Yeah.
Then he was the Juice. Then he was the Juice CJ Banks. Then he was CJ Banks. Now he's going to be the bank from the Bank of England.
Yeah.
You've just got to. I think you've got some, but it's about evolving, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what I think it is at the end of the day. You can still be the same guy and tweak yourself.
Yeah.
And still give yourself a different name.
Yeah.
But you still know it's you deep down from when you started.
It's what Sting does, isn't it? That's why Sting changes face paint, because you just got to keep re-evolving yourself. And keep coming back with something different. But it's still Sting wearing face paint. They just happen to be different colours. Yeah. That's what it is.
Right. Okay, Angel. Well, going back slightly there to when you started BWP, just over 12 months ago now, maybe 18. Well, yeah, must be 18 months ago now.
Yeah.
With BWP Encore, it was brand new for us. You were a brand new presenter. Obviously, you had the Mike DJ partnering you in that, and you two long-term friends. Coincidental that you two are actually the two top dogs in BWP at the moment now, I suppose. You use the commissioner, Mike, as the head of talent relations.
What does that mean?
Sorry?
What does that mean?
I don't know.
It must be official. He has it as his real job on Facebook. Yeah.
Please tell me he's got a business card.
He has got a business card.
That's next. That's next. I'm sure he's got someone working on him as we speak. Oh, BF. Really? Oh, fuck's sake.
David, where's his picture?
So, Encore, as we said, it's brand new to you. It's brand new to us. It kind of ended a little bit prematurely. We had a good run January up until the summer season last year. At the beginning of the summer season, we kind of took a little bit of a break, and then we did another episode at the end of the season, just recapping what had gone on, and that's it. We haven't seen anything of you since then. I know that later on tonight, after this interview, you're going to be filming the 2014 special of Encore TV.
Yeah, and the missus ain't happy about that, but...
right, okay, so I was going to lead on
Sorry,
to a lot of
Susan.
personal things have been going on in your life. You said when you started Encore you were single. As you just mentioned there, you're no longer single, you got a missus and you're due to be married next year.
Yep.
Is that the reason why you finished Encore last year?
No, I don't think so. I just think it was just a culmination of things. I mean, when we started Encore, I was really coming out of a bit of a dark place, to be honest, it was like Encore was probably one of the brighter spots. Like before that, a couple of years ago, just really bad. Come out of a bad relationship. Wasn't seeing my daughter. Had to go through court a second time to get access to her. But since then, and like the turn of the year, I've had so much luck. It's unreal. Got the gig with Encore. About 3 weeks later, I met my fiancée Helen. We got in.
Meet her through the wrestling business?
No, through internet dating site. Funnily enough, Plenty of Fish. Get on it. It's free. Belt him.
It's free.
No, but I know, and people say, "Oh, internet dating, is that a bit weird?" And do you know what? I think it's not weird. I think, if anything, it takes out a lot of the awkwardness of like just picking up someone in a bar, or because you don't know who they are. You're probably going to get a six drink version of who that person really is.
Like a try before you buy.
Yeah, do you know? Well, funnily enough, but I think on the internet it's a bit more relaxed. You can talk as much as you want, and then you're just comfortable with each other when you meet them because you know so much about each other already. And then when I met her, I saw her, and that was it, really.
It's just a stigma of it, isn't it, I suppose? I suppose it's no different, really, than just meeting somebody on Facebook and chatting over Facebook and then going out for a drink, after a couple of weeks. So, as I mentioned before, you get married next year.
I am.
Because I've been invited. Have you been invited?
Well, we were best friends, but I can't see. I don't remember seeing getting the invite through the door. So
no, but I have been really lucky. I had a bit.
So fucking fussy, so fussy moves on, I don't know. I thought we were mates, but I think
I think I got a +1.
To be fair, no invites have gone out actually officially yet. They're just on a draft list. So.
I'm busy anyway.
You are busy
for the stag do.
Yeah, the only way I can make it is if you run a show for that weekend for me. So.
All right.
That's probably why you've not been invited, sorry.
So this is the first. This is an exclusive. It's going to be you don't want me to run those shows, mate. You do not want me to run those shows.
No, but it's
you don't want it.
Getting back on track.
Do you like BWP? Because it's not.
No, I've just been dead lucky. Dead lucky. I had a windfall just after Christmas, which just been belting really. Yeah. A little bit of.
What sort of windfall?
Oh, just a cheeky bet on the
bet in Nando's?
Football, 200 quid. Yeah. So everyone knows we're a bit of a gambling man. Yeah.
How ironic that this interview followed the last one.
It's a bit wrong. Sorry, Tom.
Oh, Tom will get it. He's fine.
I do like a flutter, though. I do like a flutter.
I like a flutter.
Funnily enough, I tend to win when I put a bet on. It's a BWP show the same day, and I attend to it. So I best start attending more shows. I think
get more shows on.
Yeah, it has been noted by a few people, mainly Pitbull. He always likes to reference in his promos that you're never there.
Oh, really?
Are you going to be in the next show?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
BWP Summer Rumble.
BWP Summer Rumble, yeah.
He didn't look at his face. He doesn't even know the fuck. He doesn't even know a date.
I thought that was last year.
Oh no, I'm there because you're coming for.
He's texting hello as we speak.
No,
hello, is it okay if I go to that?
No, I'm sorry, right, but
I used to invite you to the wedding.
You don't want that.
Pitbull can go around and say what he wants, and you know if he's got genuine heat with me, we're not showing up on shows, then that's his problem. But at the end of the day, he's not got kids. Yeah. And he's not in a stable relationship to actually comment on these sort of things, is he?
He's not in a stable, he sleeps in a kennel.
Oh!
He's a dog. It's a dog joke. We take a piss out of Pitbull a lot.
Well, we're talking about Pitbull. The question we got...
I'm only joking. I do like the Pitbull, but sometimes you don't know when to keep his gob shut.
Is that a shoot?
Pew pew! He knows I love him, really.
I fucking love Sam.
Yeah, I think it was Geraint Griffiths
and his sister.
LGT. Yeah,
David, where's this picture?
Geraint Griffiths asked LGT on the last interview, Team Pitbull or Team Gallagher?
Team Gallagher.
Why?
Why not?
Obviously, you were there from when the kick-off first happened in Denby in February.
Yes.
You've kind of been involved with me all the way through it. You looking forward to this one, September 27th?
I think what I like about it more than anything is that it not only is a wrestler stood up to the Pitbull. Before we knew that this was Owen Gallagher, a lot of the people that night just thought he was a punter.
Yeah.
And for a punter to give grief to a wrestler and actually take it to that next level.
Yeah. Especially Pitbull,
who looks, I wouldn't mess with him. He is a legitimate hard guy.
Yeah.
He is.
I was in that match and I was like,
I'll say it 20 more times if he's not going to batter me for telling him to shut his gob and that stable relationship comment. That was purely a joke. He knows it.
Kennel.
He knows I liked his ex. Shotgun parties.
You find the bullets, mate. You find the bullets.
It's bad, isn't it? Maybe I should keep my gob shut. Whose idea was this? Team Gallagher.
Yeah, you looking forward to it? Yeah.
Damn right. Yes. Yeah. Of course I am. Yeah. I love Denby. It's an old school venue.
Yeah.
I love the seating around the top, and Denby was the first show I actually did as commissioner. So
yeah.
How was it?
Yeah.
This year, Albandi, so
the
Town Hall Brawl.
Town Hall Brawl last year. Yeah.
Epic main event, street fight. That one. Was it the one where
was it the brand?
Was it the brand?
No, it wasn't the brand.
Was it that year before?
Oh yeah, that's year before. Must be.
He was on it.
Yeah, he's
obviously.
I can't remember.
Me and Gibbs. Was it the tournament?
No, it was in September, nearly a year ago.
I don't know. Is that when I turned baby?
No, I can't remember.
No.
I've done a lot of shows since then.
No, he was baby.
I've been dropped on my head a couple of times by Pitbull
by then, weren't you?
Probably, mate. Yeah, happens.
Yeah, I think he was.
Right, okay. Well, again, it was something that got mentioned in the LGT interview. From I don't know if you actually saw any of it going down on Twitter a few weeks back, where some absolute idiot was slagging off British wrestling, saying it's all smoke and mirrors. And we asked LGT the same thing about what his thoughts are on British wrestling, the state at the moment. What are your thoughts on the state of British wrestling?
Is this Craig Jarrett?
I think it was actually, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mate wasn't it?
David.
No, that's the other one.
Oh, yeah, it was Craig Jarrett. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of friends on Twitter.
Yeah,
Michael Steele. Yeah. On Facebook. Michael Steele.
Oh, right, so.
Have you got him on Facebook?
Lab.
Here's one. Michael Steele on Facebook. STEELE. He's a fucking legend. Absolutely fantastic. Imagine Adam Bowler and Hannah Lamb have a baby.
Oh,
this is the guy. He believes in dragons.
Does he really?
Yes.
Is he an adult?
Yeah.
You should believe in dragons. You're Welsh, aren't you?
No, yeah, he's the steel dragon.
He's the steel dragon?
Yes.
Steel dragon.
A dragon visits him every night in his sleep and tells him what to do the next day.
This isn't the gimmick, no?
This is legitimate.
You can't make this
is as legitimate as a babyface Pitbull suplexes. This is completely legitimate. He's a nice guy.
Okay.
British wrestling. Right, it's in.
Yeah, back to
the question.
Sorry, I keep getting angels here.
It's probably in the best. It's probably in the best shape it's ever been, really, hasn't it?
It is.
In terms of workers, in terms of promotions. The one gripe I have, and I don't know if this is me being a bit picky or whether it's because these guys are that good, they're getting booked all over the country, but you tend to see the same names cropping up on a lot of the same shows. And I think what sets BWP apart is they don't book a lot of these names which are on all of these same shows. It's like I mean, El Ligero is on every show. Chris Travis seems to be on every show. Martin Kirby seems to be on every show. Joey Hayes seems to be on every show. And they, rightly so, these guys are good workers. They really are. But I don't know if I'm thinking that British wrestling's getting a bit saturated with the same people, doing the same stuff everywhere across the country. But that's just me looking in. I mean, I can only see what gets promoted out to me.
You can say the same about a lot of our guys. Like Beef and Pitbull and CJ, Cyanide. They work for quite a lot of promotions all over the place. Maybe it's just you only notice these guys because these guys are the standout guys. You could have another couple of guys that work on every single show that Ligero and Chris Travis work on, but you never hear about them because they're not doing anything that's stand out. They still get the same bookings. You know what I mean? I mean, you could say the same about our guys. From an outsider's point of view, they could say, well, they're only booking Dylan and Pitbull and Cyanide because they work on all these other shows in the Northwest. So I think it's just the way they actually.
I think a lot of it though is word of mouth, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of the card as well is like local lads to fill up a lot of the card, and then they get these frequent like legs and Trav and all that. They get those in as well, but they do use maybe 80-90% of the roster will be local lads who live in like the Northwest or the South or Scotland. You know what I mean? So
just cost effective.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course it is. I mean, fair play to these guys. You know what I mean? It's like you use. I know I'm mentioning him again. Ligero and Travis as two examples. When I first met them about 11 years ago, and seriously, they were really skinny. They were weed. I was bigger and probably had a better physique than them, and I'm a fat bastard. You know what I mean? But those two guys have worked really hard to get where they are, and the look and the work that they put in. With the diet and obviously the training to get where they are, and have got the look what they have, and they should be applauded for it, because I think that's a problem with some trainees who are at training schools. They think because they get on training school shows, that's it. They've made it. And I think I'm probably guilty of that. In some respect. I mean, I know I've worked for a couple of other promoters, but none who you can say were big or what I would say long running promotions which are still running now, still taking money. I mean, I'd have loved to have worked for GPW or Future Shock. I really would have done. But when it came down to it, I wasn't good enough, which I wasn't, and I didn't have the physique. Because at the end of the day, it's a product, isn't it? And I'm the first one to openly admit I did not look as good as half those guys who were on that show.
Well, Dusty Rhodes didn't have a six pack, did he?
Well,
so you've got like a character, you know what I mean? So you should have. I think you should have still, if you felt like you wanted to go on it, still push on it.
Maybe. I mean, I'm probably using Cyanide. Look at Cyanide. He's not got the best physique, but he's still a lot bigger than me, and he still looks more of a monster than what I do. And if I had a beard like his, I'd have got sacked from my real job. So
well, maybe now you found your niche in the business where you come out suited and booted.
Definitely. Definitely.
You still get to be involved in the business. So most importantly, backstage with the police, you still get to join in.
I think I probably should have done it maybe years ago, but I did love doing wrestling, and I could still probably work a decent match, a half decent match. I could go out there.
Stop at a match.
I could go out there. I could go out there and hold my own. You know what I mean? Me and the Red Saint would fucking turn the house down.
Right, okay, we've got like 48 minutes. We've mentioned that, or you've mentioned El Ligero quite a few times, but we haven't heard the story. And everybody's going to be listening, waiting for the story that they've all heard before, but they want to hear it again. So
what's the story?
The story. I
have heard it. I'm trying to build it up, make it bigger than it is.
Okay, sorry.
Right, I just want to go on record and say I think he's this country's best worker.
Oh, you would say that because you didn't tell everybody that you beat him.
Regardless of the fact that I beat him. I think he's put so much time into his craft and his physique and his whole. I mean, if you've seen him face to face, you know why he wears a mask. I'm not using that as a slight.
Fuck hell, pull the trigger again, Angel. Keep going, pal. Keep shooting, buddy.
Come on, everyone rips the piss out of him on the net. I've heard that from. I'm not ripping the piss out. He's a lovely lad.
He is. Yeah.
I've had 2 matches with him, but the one match everyone goes on about is me against him. 2007 in Preston for 21 CW. And it was in some nightclub in Preston. Now, bearing this mind, I'd probably worked about 15, 16 matches, mainly RWA matches, against guys who are on my same level. I'm probably a bit better than them because I've had more training. So I get this opportunity, said, we're going to book you against Ligero, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, he's going to... I think I was totally overawed by the match, and because it was El Ligero. And we got there, and we went through it, you know, what we're going to do, etc, etc. And you can imagine what it's like. It wasn't the most simple of matches, and I think I just got swamped over by so many things. Probably forgot a couple of spots, totally fucked up his finish and missed his DDT. I was in the wrong spot for his springboard DDT, but there were some good things in that match where I remember like throwing him in the bogs, and he came out with a toilet roll on his horn, and he did a dive from the DJ booth onto me into the ring, and I took a sunset flip powerbomb off him as well, but I beat him, funnily enough, and it's just a big rib that I always say I beat El Ligero. In realistic terms, I should have never have beaten him. I should have never beaten him. I just don't think I was ready for it at the time, and
well, fair enough.
But that's what I learned from. Yeah. And then when I had the next match against him and Bubblegum teaming with Axel Rage, it was a lot better, a lot more fun, a lot more. We talked to each other a bit more, discussed about what we all wanted to do, and I think Pip, you know, Bubblegum just lets you get so much of what you want to do in.
Yeah, he's very generous.
He's probably the nicest guy in pro wrestling by a million miles. Everyone says it, and it can't be bullshit if everyone says the same thing about you.
He's pretty fit as well.
He is, yeah.
Big man crush.
But yeah, it was good experience, but definitely a learning one. Would I say it was the best match I ever had? Not in a million years, no.
So what was the best match you've ever had?
Best match I ever had, personally, I don't. It's hard to say. Was it your best match because of what you did in the ring, or was it the best match because of what happened at the end of the finish, or the most crowd emotion? But the most fun match I ever worked was a 6-man tag back in the RWA, and it was me, Jack Lightning, and Salvador Juan Disco, which in case you didn't know is Sean Phoenix under a mask. Worst kept secret in professional wrestling. He's actually really good at playing that gimmick, by the way. He will not admit it, and he will hate me for saying it, but he plays it really well. He's got his own Twitter now, Juan Disco Boogie, I think. Follow him, it's hilarious.
Is that gimmick still active?
I don't know if it's still going. I hope it does, and I hope it comes back, because it's fucking brilliant. It is really brilliant. And it was me, Disco, and Jack Lightning against DJ King, Paul Demo Gibson, and Deacon K, 6-man tag, and we just had a laugh. You know what I mean? It was just fun. There's some crazy spots in there, and it just really worked well. Really fun, and the crowd just were well into it. And probably more fun than when I won the title as well, even though that was on BBC One.
Oh, right.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
I think I've seen
I've
that
not seen
on
that.
YouTube.
Is the Ligero win on YouTube, or is
the finishes?
Is it?
Yeah. And by the way, it didn't go over clean. Axel Rage came in and hit Ligero with a Michinoku driver, and I just put my hand over him and won.
So 3 things to search for online tonight: Angel D'Souza on BBC,
yeah,
Angel D'Souza beating Alderley, and Angel D'Souza getting off with Molly Smith and Downs.
No, you'll probably not see 2 of them. The
badge is not on there.
Backtracking again.
Me winning the RWA title is
Mrs. listens to this, bro.
me winning the she won't. Let's fucking listen to this. My mate
Helen, if you're listening, hello.
Me winning the RWA title, you can find on if you search YouTube RWA Inside Out. DJ King's on it as well. You can search. You can see some of my old matches from the RWA if you like on there. If you YouTube Angel versus Lightning versus, we'll just put RWA. It comes up and it's a 3-way between me, Jack Lightning, and Kieran McConnell, which I actually enjoyed. Nice little triple threat match. I win that one too. Spoilers. But yeah, that's it. I wouldn't say I was the best worker. I wouldn't say I was the worst worker, but I just had a laugh.
Yeah. Enjoyed your career.
Got for me. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Yeah, got to meet some good mates. I held.
It's a perfect career, then, isn't it? Really.
I held the title. Yeah.
You just enjoyed yourself and just had a bit of fun.
Worked some decent matches. Never got majorly injured. No.
Right, we're gonna think about wrapping this up. Before I do, there's one more question coming from Garrett Griffiths, which is a good question to close. Which is, where do you plan on taking BWP in 2015, and what's coming up?
Well, I want to try and bring BWP to a wider audience. Whether that's through the internet, social media, YouTube, going on somebody's other patch and running shows which are better than theirs, then that's what we might have to do. Because I think it's too good to be kept in North Wales and doing summer season shows. Yeah. I think.
Well, we don't just do summer season shows.
No, I know that, but
we do run shows all year.
But you do, but predominantly the main shows are at Frith, aren't they? Yeah. And don't get me wrong, we draw well, but Prestatyn's not really the hub of the world, is it? It's not the easiest place to get to.
Some people may disagree from Prestatyn.
Yeah, but we're wrestlers who drive. Yeah. Aren't we? We're wrestlers who drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not like wrestlers who don't drive.
Yeah. It's that fucks me off, that does.
Me too. My biggest bugbear, why can't people learn to drive?
Talk wrestlers who do drive, and also
this is why I like the fact that we're running in Buckley at the moment, because Buckley's easy to get to from Chester. Yeah. We're talking 10-20 minutes on a bus or a train. It's a piece of piss. And if we're connected to Chester, then why can't we move into Chester maybe again? Maybe don't run the fucking Saltley Tavern, but why not? And then maybe move into Ellesmere Port, Halton. Who knows? Runcorn. Why not? What competition? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not? Let's just run shows wherever we want.
Happy days. Fantastic. Well, listen, man, it's been absolutely fantastic talking to you and getting to know, because I met you in GPW and then I saw you at BWP, so I've not known anything that's gone on in between. So it was nice to find out a lot more about you.
Could have talked longer and longer, really. I mean, it's just skates the surface, but probably boring.
Well, you can come back again.
You
can come back again for definitely.
Down the line. Talk about Alderley again.
Yeah, I'll get that picture.
There's not much. I mean, I just want to say, and I've got DJ King at the side of me where I've mentioned these comments, and he's firing fucking bullets at me for say everyone's going to get fucking heat with you, and I was like, I'm not coming here to get heat with anyone. I just want to be honest and throw a little jokes in there. Everyone who I've met in wrestling, the majority of people, are really nice, really welcoming people. I've loved every person who I've worked with, because I've given something to them when we've made something really and given it back to the fans. So I'm sorry for insulting the babyface Pitbull. Sorry for questioning his relationship commitments. Sorry for questioning El Ligero's face. Sorry for questioning him and Chris Travis's diet and workout program 12 years ago. That's some of the things I'm not sorry for. They're the truth, and they're my opinion. And if anyone wants to go down and talk about it with me in more detail, because I don't think I've actually said what I really feel. I think I've just said, from a diplomatic sense, what should be said, and I've kept it quite professional to a degree. I could come on here and slag a lot of people off, but I've not done.
Well, what we'll say is if
anyone wants to have anything with me, they can talk to me on Facebook. That's if you've not blocked me. So on that note,
or even better, if you got any problem, come on the show and shout back at Angel on BWP Encore Radio.
Like I said before, I'm 33 years old. Just talk to me like a man. Just we could go out, we could have a pint, we could have a drink. Just if you've got beef with me or you've got a problem with me, just come and tell me to my face. I might not like what you've got to say, but I might accept it and think, alright, you've got a point, and that might make me a better person, and then hopefully vice versa that might happen.
We can't say fairer than that.
I went to a doctor's once and I said, Doctor, I can't pronounce my F's, my T's and my H's, and the doctor said, you can't say fairer than that.
Very good, Angel. Let's end on that.
Did you get that in the three-way with Kieran McConnell? Did he tell you that joke? He's pretty good at jokes. Yeah, listen, so, Sax, anything else you want to
thank
get
you very much, Angel. It's been great. Obviously, I know a bit more about you than Beef did, but it's been good to have you on the show, good to hear about your history and more details about Alderley. And thank you very much for the job you do as BWP Commissioner. You've done a great job over the past 12 months. Really looking forward to the summer season, looking to see what you've got in store for the BWP faithful.
It's going to be good. Barn burners.
Barn burners.
All over the place. Hashtag barn burners.
I'm also looking forward to seeing the new BWP Encore TV episode as well. It's been too long.
It has been too long, yeah. I mean...
We've
got a lot of work.
Yes, let's go. Fantastic. Angel, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Devin's got the picture. Oh, check it out.
You did tell us she was topless.
You lying bastards.
Thank you for listening to BWP Encore Radio. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and check out the official BWP website at www.britanniawrestling.co.uk.